Yes, Steve Johnson from BT. I head up a team called 21C Global Venture, which is a unit we've set up jointly between our technology organisation and our Global Telecom Markets organisation to take a lot of the learning from the 21CN Network Transformation Programme in the UK and to offer that learning on a commercial basis to other network operators to help them analyse and set their own NGN strategies and then move into actually implementing an NGN strategy with them.
Okay, and what do you think perhaps is the biggest challenge that you're facing migrating to a 21st century network?
There are obviously lots of challenges. Key to us is ensuring the migrations happen with complete transparency from a customer point of view. The strategy we're adopting in BT is a complete closure of our legacy platforms, particularly the PSTN platform, for example. And that means it's not just a matter of persuading customers to move to new services, it's a matter of preserving the services they have and moving those services over without changing them. So we put a lot of effort into making sure that the PSTN service on the NGN is exactly the same as the one that the customer had before. And getting all of that right and making the migrations happen seamlessly, no hiccup at all from a customer point of view is probably the biggest single challenge.
Okay, and from the consumer's point of view, what do you think for them will be the most noticeable difference once BT has successfully migrated further down the line?
Well, the immediate difference on the day of migration will be essentially zero from a customer point of view. They'll have the same service as they did before. What it will mean is, one, automatically every line that's migrated will be inherently broadband enabled. So rather than having to provision a customer onto a broadband port when they order it, they will already be provisioned onto that, so it will be just a matter of turning the broadband on. So what that would mean, for example, is customers ordering broadband would get service much more quickly. And as a result of the investments we're making above the network layer in IMS and developing common capabilities and so on, that's going to enable us to provide a much richer set of services, both from within BT but also working with third parties in terms of new applications and new ways of doing things that maybe even generated by the customers themselves.
Okay, and you were talking earlier about the business transformation that was inherent in the whole model that you're adopting. So what's it going to mean for BT going through this migration process as an organisation?
So the transformation started off very much as a technology-driven, let's convert everything onto a common NGN core. It soon became apparent that in doing that you need to start rethinking your product strategy, your product portfolio and so on, which over the years have become very complex. So part of the transformation is also about simplifying the product portfolio and making it easier for customers to understand. Also, through putting everything onto a common core, you can make it more consistent. That only works though if you have a common set of operational processes and so on. So it's also meant rethinking and realigning our operational processes across the business to make them consistent. It's also meant thinking more about, well, how do we most effectively support the different lines of business, whether it's residential customers or to large business customers or to global corporate customers or whatever. And so the latest reorganisation of BT is putting all of the design and operate functions together, serving all of those lines of business. So effectively what started off as a technology transformation has become a complete reorganisation of BT from all aspects.
And I guess there are valuable lessons other operators can learn. Other incumbent operators who have similar sort of legacy systems, for them, what potentially can BT bring to those organisations?
Obviously we wouldn't be arrogant enough to say that we're the only people doing this, or that we're the only people that anyone can learn from, and we see this sort of learning very much as a two-way process. Nevertheless, in terms of going for a complete transformation on this scale, we're probably the first to do it to that size. We've certainly spent a lot of money in investigating different options and a certain amount of money in making mistakes and learning from them. And it's those learning from our mistakes and learning from all the different options we've analysed and the approaches we've taken, for example, in constructing business cases, how we've approached the vendor community to make sure we get the best technology at the best prices and so on. But those sorts of large-scale exercises that we've gone through, we think there's quite a lot of value in there that we'd like to share with us all.
Okay, and outside, I guess, of those challenges that you've outlined there, We've been hearing a lot today from IDC about fixed mobile convergence and, and it seems to be a very strong growing trend.
Sure.
Is that something that is going to be incorporated into the transformation model of British Telecom?
Absolutely. The whole NGN architecture from BT's point of view is based around a 3GPP type of architecture. So BT is A, founded the Fixed Mobile Convergence Association. B, it's been very active in standards bodies such as ETSI TISPAN to drive the standards in that area to make sure that they are applicable to fixed network operators moving into fixed mobile convergence as well as meeting the needs of mobile operators. So our NGN is based around an IMS type of architecture, it's based around common capabilities, it's based around generalised mobility and supporting services independent of the access technology, whether that's 2G, 3G, Wi-Fi, broadband, bus optical network, whatever. So it's very much fixed mobile convergence. It's very sort of integral to BT's strategy.
Fantastic. Okay, Steve, is there anything else you'd like to add for the benefit of the interview?
Not really, just like to thank the organisers for the conference. It's obviously an excellent venue, very well organised conference, and certainly finding it very valuable.
Have you met some interesting characters here as well?
Certainly have, yes.
Fantastic. Okay, Steve Johnson, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just to add some extra questions.
It's up to you.
Well, if you don't mind, we can just make sure and log into them.
Yeah, sure. Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so just moving on from where we were earlier, Steve. What's BT's sort of current policy as regards suppliers, and how I guess you should try to incorporate all your different suppliers into the overall migration strategy?
So we've made a conscious decision within the 21CM programme to go for a dual vendor strategy. And by that we mean each of the main technology domains we have two vendors that we work with in that domain. So for the multi-service access nodes, for example, which are replacements for local exchanges, we have two suppliers there. We have two suppliers for our core transmission. We have two suppliers for core IP routers and so on. And we've made that decision quite consciously in order to ensure security of supply in the future. And we know that no vendor, however big, is necessarily immune from financial problems or whatever. And also, certainly for the scale of BT's network, we've actually found that going for that dual vendor approach has actually given us better pricing overall, and the overall cost of the network is significantly lower than if we'd gone for any one vendor.
And is that a concept that the suppliers themselves are comfortable with?
Obviously, we've put quite a big challenge in front of the suppliers in terms of meeting our needs both technically and commercially. The suppliers obviously stood up to that challenge. We feel we've got very good deals with our suppliers, and we're working effectively with them. But it's been a challenge for us, and I think it's been a challenge for the suppliers as well.
And you mentioned that in terms of the costings on the success case around the £10 billion in terms of investment that's going to be poured into that. What are the sort of timeframes that BT are looking at to, I guess, complete the overall migration?
So the overall migration, the bulk of the overall migration should be completed in the next 3 years or so. There will be some tidying up and so on after that, so it will all be complete by about 2012. So the bulk of the investment will be in the early part of that, and sort of doing the sort of mass migrations. I should emphasise, as I said earlier, that it's not £10 billion of incremental investment. There is some incremental investment, but a lot of it is more a matter of redirecting the investments that would have gone into the existing platforms.